Thank you for coming, and let me begin with a sincere thank you to Senate Majority Leader John Flanagan for coming up with the idea to rename a portion of the highway that runs through Stephen's beloved hometown of Malvern. I would also like to thank all the efforts of Senator Kaminsky in making sure that the legislation was not only passed, but that Stephen's life was appropriately remembered and celebrated. All of you know the story of Stephen McDonald and how this very public life started on that fateful day in July of 1986. For on that date, New York City police officer Stephen McDonald, who was only 29 years old and a third-generation police officer with 2 years of experience on the police force, one of the boys pulled out a handgun and shot Officer McDonald 3 times at point-blank range. The resulting injuries were life-threatening, severe, and devastating. Approximately 9 months after being shot in Central Park and after countless surgeries and medical procedures, which left him paralyzed from the neck down and relegated to a wheelchair, Stephen issued a public letter forgiving the young shooter for the incident and stating that he hoped that the young man would find peace and purpose in his life. Following that public letter, Stephen did something remarkable. He sent to the incarcerated youth a box of stamps and envelopes so they could communicate on a regular basis. And for several years, they did just that, with Stephen trying to help the young man find that very peace and purpose in his life. Stephen said, "I forgave because I believed the only thing worse than receiving a bullet in my spine would have been to nurture revenge in my heart." Stephen lived those words every day and became a symbol of forgiveness. He routinely visited schools to speak to kids, including my own, about his faith, the cycle of violence, and the power of forgiveness. Stephen's tireless work in trying to make people's lives better was highlighted by his favorite hockey team, which was unfortunately the New York Rangers, who created the Stephen McDonald Extra Effort Award in 1987 and is given to the Rangers player who goes above and beyond the call of duty, both on and off the ice. And as a side note, after hearing about the Stephen McDonald Award on the first time, I asked Stephen, why wasn't there a New York Islander Stephen McDonald Award? And with a smile, he said, because they wouldn't let me wear my New York Rangers jersey to the presentation. Stephen was, by all accounts, an inspiration to the entire city, state, and nation. The heroic police officer who overcame insurmountable odds to live and then forgive the teen who almost killed him. There are very few and rare individuals in this life that you meet who everyone instantly respects and admires. Stephen McDonald was one of those very few and rare individuals. Stephen lived a life that inspired everyone around him to be better human beings. A person who, due to one of life's random, unexpected, unexplainable, and yes, unfair events, had every right to be bitter, angry, and despondent, but was instead forgiving, kind, and hopeful. Stephen's compassion and kindness was evident every day in the years that followed the shooting. And when we should have been caring for Stephen, he instead gave us great comfort in his courage, but even more importantly, confidence in the human spirit through his actions. On January 10, 2017, almost 31 years after the Central Park shooting, God called Stephen home, leaving his 2 greatest loves, his wife Patty and his son Connor. While even on this day of celebration, it is impossible to ignore Stephen's passing that has left an emptiness in the hearts of everyone who met him, in the hearts of all police officers, and in the collective heart of a small village of Malvern. But that emptiness is filled when one remembers how Stephen McDonald showed us all how to live one's life based upon love and forgiveness in a world that desperately calls for each. It is my severe hope that every person who sees the sign proclaiming the Detective Stephen McDonald Memorial Highway are reminded of the namesake's courage, kindness, and compassion, and follows his life in lead. If that happens, the world will be such a better place. God bless you, Stephen. God bless your memory, and God continue to bless the United States of America.